So when I had my breakdown, I was working in an open office and there were people around me, and I would leave in a bad mood every single day. I was always tired and grumpy and I couldn't figure out what was happening. And it's only now later that I've learned all of these coping tools that I've now realized that at that point in time there was a mismatch with how I was working. So the reason I say that is because when you're working against how you are naturally inclined to work, then you create additional friction that you shouldn't have to deal with in the first place. You see, the thing is that as you're working through your day-to-day environment, you've already got friction, and by working differently to how you are wired, you create additional friction on top of that. So besides all of the work that's coming in and the daily tasks and the open tabs that are created by that, you now have got a processing problem because you're trying to figure out how to process the open tab when you've got this additional stressor that is causing friction with it. So in my case, examples of how it was for me is you've got different ways in which you are as a person, and I am introverted more than extroverted, so I need to have alone time to recharge. Being in the open office was an issue for me because you're donating energy the whole time. That's just how we wired, and that caused all of this friction. Secondly is that I like to process things first before I respond, and the type of work that I was doing required me to respond on the spot. So I would have an immediate interruption, someone would be requesting something and I would have to answer them, and then I'd get all flustered and it would take me off course. The other thing is that I am not a morning person. My brain only comes online later in the day. So I like to do brain dead work in the mornings, and then my thinking work happens in the afternoon. And this was contrary to that as well, because I would have to be on high alert from when I arrived until when I left. So I was doing things outside of the times that I'm naturally inclined to do it. Those type of things add friction, because if you're trying to attend to the work that you're doing, and you are focusing your energy at this task, and you have got the outside environment that is now affecting it, then that creates that mental tab that's open, and now you've got a processing problem. So that's what you need to understand. What you need to start doing to figure this all out for yourself, because as soon as you start noticing these things, you will notice yourself that you're uneasy at work. You are flustered when something happens, and you start questioning yourself about why are they coping and I'm not, and it makes you feel a little bit insecure and inferior, but actually what you're doing is just working against yourself. So that's what you need to sort out. So the way that you do that is you do sort of a mini audit and you start figuring out for yourself, but you can only do this for yourself. No one else is going to be able to show you. You might be able to gauge from other people what it is, but the one is you need to do an energy audit. And you know for yourself, are you a morning or an afternoon person? And when do you function best? If it's in the morning, then you need to shift your thinking work to that time, and then shift the brain dead work towards the afternoon, or the inverse if it is the opposite. And that will then work with your naturally aligned energy, because everyone is different. The second one is your processing style, and that is how you think. So some people are very quick off the cuff. If you ask them something, they can answer you very quickly. Other people need to think a bit first. That's like me. And if you ask me something, I need to internalize it and process it, and then I can come and give you an answer afterwards. So in an instance like that, if someone does bring you something and they require an immediate answer, tell them, just leave it with me. I will come and give you the answer just now. And then that helps you manage that process, because you're not under pressure to perform at that point. Then you need to also, this is the easiest one I think to identify, is your social energy style. Are you introvert, extrovert? I know you get an ambivert as well, but that is just, it's not about being shy or outgoing. It is about how your energy, if you are an energy acceptor or donator. So some people are energized by having lots of people around them. They feed off of that energy. That's extroversion, and they do well in open offices. And then you get introversion, where you are a donator of energy and you need to be separated, have more quiet time. You can do open office, but you need to maybe have a cubicle that's quiet or something that just shields you from all of the externals around you. So that you need to figure out for yourself. And then your work environment as well, like I've said, it's sort of similar to your social energy style, but some introverts can maybe work in an open office, or you need a separate office, and that's just your work environment. Do you need a louder work environment with more distraction to keep you occupied, or do you need a quieter work environment to keep you sane, I'd call it. So that's just the energy audit that you do, and that's how you start to figure out yourself and how to make your work work with you. Not that you have to work according to how everyone else around you is working, and hopefully people are able to manage their own way of working. You need to do the same for yourself. So once you've managed to do your energy audit, this is how you're going to start managing yourself and stop working against yourself, working with yourself, and then stopping that friction that starts in the first place. So the beginning part is that you've got this friction that's happening between the work that you're doing and how you're doing it and how it's working against you. That is the struggle that you feel daily, where work becomes difficult. And this point that you need to get to is, once you've figured out how you work within those boundaries, and then you will start to see that doing the work becomes easier the more you work in alignment with who you actually are.